Hello everyone, it is Liam, the Deaf Doom Metalhead, and today is a black metal collection update. All of this is pure nasty black metal with a few kind of weird kind of albums thrown in between that kind of challenged me over the last month or so, one of my listening habits. So we'll kick right into this. So this is a Portuguese band, one-man project, as most black metal albums are and bands are these days. This was formed in 2014 and this is the third full-length from 2022. And this is, hopefully get this right, Candelabrum, with the album Nocturnal Trance. This was done through Hell's Headbangers, I believe this one came out through, back last year. And it is an album that is different from what you normally would get from Hell's Headbangers. Normally I would pick up a few death metal albums from them, but I saw this in a distro over here and I checked it out and it is really unique. So this is quite raw. It's a bit avant-garde to me, so it's a bit weird. So it's not your straightforward like black metal with like tremolo picked riffs, your screams over the top with some kind of harmonies. There's nothing like that. The riffs are really weird and it has this weird kind of tone to it where it's raw and it's not like high-end produced. It's kind of weird twangy noise to it with a lot of reverb on it, but it really works and it's very, very catchy. And the more you listen to it, the more you kind of pick up new parts of each song. I mean, that's the main reason I've been really getting into my black metal. There's so much you can take in. Like, you know, I've been listening to death metal for a long time, and when I've started to kind of push myself, and as you'll see with a few of these, I've really kind of gone for the rawer side of black metal, and this is kind of in that ballpark where I would never thought I'd like this. But it's got a weird uniqueness to it, and it kind of has these kind of weird, kind of atmospheric, kind of always doomy like riffs that kind of lure you in. It's got loads, like I said, really dark atmosphere. And it's fucking awesome. I really, really enjoy it. I mean, I'd like to check out his other stuff he's done, because if it sounds as good as this, then I'm going to be a big fan of it. So this one's actually got a lot of spins, and I was zero expectations. I kind of checked it out, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, Candelabrum with Nocturnal Trance. Now this one I have literally zero information for you, apart from it's a UK band out of Canterbury, and this is their debut demo for 2023. And that is the band Vitus Cruces. Tape looks like that. Now this is completely new to me. I mean, I checked this out through a YouTube channel that promotes black metal, and I saw the artwork, and I love my kind of ancient history and my medieval artwork. And the tape gives you nothing either. It's just the tracks, 3 tracks: Dawn, Noon, and Dusk. And what it is just really well done black metal. I think this is a one-man band, but I couldn't tell you because there's no information on members, or there's no social media presence. It's nothing, just nothing. This was a self-release. Came with like a nice little hand-wrote note there, which was really cool. And then the J card has the 3 songs with the artwork depicting it, which was really, really cool. That's probably the main selling point for me. And then you got lyrics in there. But no thank yous, nothing like that, not where it was recorded, anything. It's just really good. So all I can tell you is go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description if you're a Bandcamp like a purchaser like me and you want to support the band. Go check it out. It's not a lot of money, and yeah, it's just wicked. So yeah, Vitus Cruces, it's really good black metal, very atmospheric, straight to the point, no pissing about. 3 really solid tracks. Go check it out. Right, I can tell you much more than that. So this one's a vinyl, and I saw this last year and I thought the cover was brilliant because one, it's hilarious in its own way, and then when you listen to it, it's got this raw but very atmospheric, characteristic kind of style to it, and I absolutely love this album. So this is another one that starts with C, Calderum, and I couldn't tell you the name of the album because I can't read, but it's down there when I go check it out later. Now look at that cover. Now normally the dudes are in the woods, they're pissing about, running around in the snow. This chap here is in a cave, and it looks like he's got a spiky mace there in his hand, and he's having a good time, you know, he's having a great time. This is another one-man band out of Spain. This is the second full-length for 2022. I think there's also a new EP that's just come out this year as well, so I need to go check that out. But this is raw, very, very catchy black metal. It's got this really unique catchiness to it. But what's cool about this chap here, he's in quite a few cool bands. So if you know the band Jade, that put out that absolutely stellar death metal album last year, he's the drummer, and you know the drumming's really good on that. And also, if you're a fan of Trolldom, he's also the drummer in that doom death kind of band that's very underground, very raw, And again, I think they're on Gurgling Gore, that label. Brilliant. But he's doing his own thing here with black metal style. That's fucking awesome. It really is. And this was put out through Death Prayer Records here in the UK last year. And Lord Mortuum is his name on this project. So the vinyl's just black wax, nothing fancy there. You see that? And I'll show you the inlay. It's got some wicked artwork on there. So got some art there. And there's some little thank yous just literally at the bottom there with some awesome artwork as well. And yeah, very, very catchy, very, very riffy. It's got that rawness to it, which might turn a few people off, but I've kind of got my head around that, and it adds to the charm of the music, and it gives it a kind of a different kind of style and a different appreciation to it. And also the cover's brilliant, you know. What's not to like about that? So yeah, go check it out. It is really, really good. So I can't pronounce it. Calderum, something like that, but you can read, so go check it out. It's awesome. Right, I'll put that down now. So next is a Portland, Oregon band. That is probably, I checked them out because they put out an EP last year and it had some really, really cool artwork on it, and I loved it. But then to get it over here, the postage was hideous. I mean, like hideous. And they released it on vinyl, and I was like, oh, I really want it. Couldn't get it. Just could not get it for the money. And I think he's put out another one last year. He's very prolific. So this is a project that was formed in Quebec, Canada in 2006. And I have 2 albums I managed to find in the distro over here. This first one is the third one from 2020. If I get the right one. This one's called Desolation by the band Nordic Winter. This is another one-man project to be shocked by. Nearly all of these are one-man projects. There he is there. Now this is amazing. Like, genuinely love this band. So it's very atmospheric, very cold, very depressing, but very, very well written melodic black metal with a very doom edge to it. And it's just miserable, but in a really, if you're a fan of doom music and a fan of like really gothic-y kind of vibey doom where it's got these bags of melody and you kind of feel miserable but at the same time you think this is fucking awesome, this guy does that perfectly. It captures all those emotions that you want. When I had this on the other day when I was driving to work when it was snowing here in the UK, and it just fitted perfectly, and I'm guessing in Canada he's getting loads of that, so it makes it a lot easier for him. So that was really good, like an amazing album, like easily 9-10 out of 10. It's very, very strong. And then the next one here, this one is called Sorrow from 2021, I think. These could be represses, I haven't actually double checked, but they both put out for Hypnotic Dirge. But this is just as good as well, like another solid album, like, from start to finish. It's amazing, like genuinely brilliant music. So there he is there, and he's done an EP and I think another album after this, and there's 2 prior to this, so we'd love to get all of them because he is genuinely amazing. So go check out some Nordic Winter if you like your doomy, miserable music but with a black metal style, because it's so good. The vocals are perfect, the drums sound amazing, the production's amazing, it's all crystal clear, no rawness to it, it's all beautifully recorded. So yeah, well happy to have those, and I will try and hunt down the rest at some point. Right, what's next? Okay, so this one is some Norwegian black metal that probably do the best packaged vinyl ever, and I was able to get this as well, which I'm well chuffed about. So this is the band Whoredom Rife from Norway, formed in 2014, and this is their debut from 2017. So that looks pretty cool already, right? And then you got the back here, and that looks pretty snappy. So, but what you can do is you can slide that out because the cutaway, huh? And what you get the full fucking amazing artwork there, and then on the back, even better art. So this is put out through Tetra Possessions, which is a Norwegian label, a really, really cool label. Full gatefold. Open it carefully. That's some amazing artwork. Like that. And it's just black wax, nothing fancy there. But you got some wicked inlays there as well. And then there is a poster, I believe, in this as well. If I can find it. And you just get all sorts of little goodies in here. So this is a 2-man project. And there you go, a little poster like that. I have the one after this, I think, or the latest album, and it's got loads more going on. This one's quite minimalistic, but it's still just as wicked. And I think there's an EP as well you can grab from these guys. So yeah, if you like straightforward, no nonsense, Norwegian style black metal, it's brutal, it's heavy, it's aggressive. If you're a fan of bands like Mayhem, I don't know. Trying to think, just that really aggressive style where it's to the point, no fucking about, it's heavy, it's well produced, there's no fancy nancy-pantsy melodic, symphonic, anything like that. It's just straight to the point, no nonsense black metal. That's the best way I can describe these guys, and they're brilliant at what they do. It's like wicked, there's loads of catchy harmonies, hooks, riffs, the whole fucking shebang. So yeah, go check these guys out, well worth your time. If you can find a copy of that vinyl, or any of their records to be fair, well worth your money. Right, back to, I think, is this Portland, Oregon? I might have got mixed up with Nordic Winter, because this is very similar. So I know Nordic Winter from Quebec, Canada. So if I said that wrong, which I'm fairly sure I did at the start, these guys here are from Portland, Oregon. And this is the band None, with their debut full album from 2017 called Nothing. Now, if you're in for a shit time, this is the band to use. This is probably the most depressing sounding band you'll ever hear in your life. Absolutely amazing music, but it's deliberately done in a way that it's just proper, like, as bad as it is, if you want to kill yourself, I'm not saying you ever should do that, and if you need help, go seek help, trust me. But this, it makes you almost feel like you're going to do it anyway. It's so emotive in the emotions. I mean, it's so brutal, so heavy, but in a emotional way. How it feels, the harmonies, the atmosphere, it's just savage. I mean, there's only 3 songs: Cold, Wither and Suffer, and that's all you're going to get. You know, very, very depressing band, but musically amazing. Really cold, atmospheric black metal. But like I said, it's the emotions involved. It really brings you down. This is not something you put on in the summertime when you're out in the family and the barbecue and you put this bad boy on, because that barbecue is going to go downhill so fast. This is one of those ones where you sit in a room on your own, or if you're driving in the car like I do for work with most of my albums I listen to on CD, you've got the cold, horrible weather and it just fits it perfectly. But be warned, it will put you in a shit mood. So especially if you listen to it with headphones, because if you take everything out of the way and you don't distract yourself and you listen to it all the way through without anyone talking to you, you're going to feel down. It's like when I watched Chernobyl, the TV series. I watched all that in one hit, and yeah, talk about feeling depressed afterwards. So there you go, None. Well worth your time. Have a swig of coffee. Can I have a mug? It's a cool mug. Right. So, this one might be a little bit controversial to some people, but I couldn't care less. This is the latest from Satanic Warmaster. This came out in 2022, called Amongander. This was put out for his own label, Werewolf Records, I think December time last year, or late November. I think Hell's Headbangers also put this on tape. This is a beautiful album. This is amazing. So, full on satanic black metal. I know a lot of people kind of class him as NSBM, probably from his earlier days, maybe, or bands he's kind of put out or kind of got involved with. But if you read the interviews, what he's done and all that kind of thing, yeah, maybe if he done it when he was younger and you got older and you learned your lesson, you can't be angry at someone anymore, because we all do stupid shit when we're young. I mean, we all have. There's not one person that's innocent, unless they're like super religious or something like that. But even then, are they innocent? So this to me is just fucking amazing. Black metal with a satanic vibe to it. No hidden messages, nothing like that. And I got the gold CD edition. I think there's a red one you can get. But you know, you hear about his like shows being cancelled because it's too extreme and all stuff like that, and bands complain, and I don't know why that CD's not going back in. But if you actually listen to this, what it is, it's just straight up satanic black metal, which there's a bazillion bands, and yeah, he might have been tied to something in the past, or there's theories of it, but if you read his interviews and his way he describes what he's talking about, and you actually read through this, which I have, there is no hidden messages unless you hate God, which 90% of people probably should, really. You know, I'm not a big fan of him myself personally. You're allowed to be if you want to be. I won't ever judge people, but you know, you read through those lyrics like there's no mention of anything dodgy. There he is there, having a great time in the garden. So yeah, it's just brilliant, and the music is fantastic. It's well produced, it's catchy, it's aggressive, it's angry. The harmonies on it are fantastic, the drums are massive, you know, everything about this album is wicked. I mean, the cover is amazing. I mean, look at that. Why could you not like that? I mean, granted you can't read the band logo, but that's the edgy part of it. So yeah, Satanic Warmaster, well worth your time if you can look past all the Reddit forums and all the other crazy shit about this band. Check out his music, well worth your time. So yeah, brilliant, brilliant album. Now, I have to have a shout out to Greg here from Instagram. This chap here did something I didn't think I'd ever do, and actually get me into a band that I didn't think I'd ever get into. Because when I first heard this band, maybe a couple of years ago, I thought it was an absolute load of wank. Didn't understand it, didn't understand the hype, didn't understand why people were going absolutely ballistic over it, and why it always sold out so quick. And he saw me post about the Calderum album, the Spanish one, saying I'm kind of getting into the kind of raw, lo-fi black metal. And he said, I've got a spare copy of this, can I send it to you? And I was like, of course, because it's one of those ones I wanted to check out. And you know, when you look at the prices that people are charging for it, it's ridiculous. I really do appreciate this, Greg, I really do. So this is Reverend Marquis out of Wales with his debut album, Pitless Black Emphasis. This is a repress through Repose Records, I think from last year, maybe the year before. But I believe this originally came out in 2018. And I won't deny, the first time I put this on, I was like, wow, this is proper out there. Like the volume levels, the tone, everything is just like, it sounds wrong to my ears initially. And I had to turn it up loads, and then when you turn it off and you put something like this back on in the background, it's like, oh, it's really loud, because you forget you've had it on so loud. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, it is weird. I think this is just black vinyl by memory, yeah. So I won't bother showing you that, and there's no inlay. But I mean, what it is it's the kind of the charm underneath it, that after 2 or 3 spins, because I really set myself up to listen to this, like I was determined to try my hardest, because sometimes you can just kind of write it off instantly and then you forget about it. So I sat down about three times. I went through this album, start to finish, and each time I was picking out little bits. Every single time, every single track, I was hearing little bits. I was like, oh, okay, I like that, I like that, I like that, and it got more and more and more to the point now where I know where they are. And then my ears were like, it's fine, you can listen to that lo-fi-ness, it's okay. It's just a production thing, because you get so used to having it mint and crystal clear, and you kind of drill yourself in as a musician. It has to be perfect, it has to sound the best and loudest, the clearest it has to be. And that isn't the case in music at all. Music is all about the emotion and also the riffs. Like if you write good riffs, it doesn't really matter how it sounds, because you listen to those like late 80s, early 90s albums that everyone loves. Production on them isn't great. I mean, over the years they've been remastered and all that kind of thing, but you appreciate it for what it is, and this is just up there with that. It's really opened my eyes, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open for more stuff from this guy, because it is really, really cool. But in a weird way, like it's one of those ones I put it on and like the missus does not understand at all this music. Like when she comes past and listens to this, she's like, what the fuck are you listening to? And rightly so, you know, it's not normal, because again, she's the same. She's used to her big loud sounding metal bands that sound massive and production's amazing, and this kind of style of music isn't it. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, Greg, so I really do appreciate it. Well happy to have that. But he didn't just send me that, he almost sent me this as well, which is what I saw in distros, because it's another Repose Records one. But again, this one is well out there, but the production on this is mint, it's absolutely massive. So this is the band Lingua Mortua. So this is a Norwegian project that came out in, I mean, they formed in 1999, and this is the second full length from 2010. I believe this is also a repress from 2022. Now this is very avant-garde, very progressive black metal. It's got saxophone, it's got keys, it's got everything going on. Female vocals by memory, it's got everything. Like, It's proper out there, but it's very, very heavy. The guitar tone is massive, and the production is huge, and it sounds amazing. Like, it's a very bizarre album. And again, it was another one that I didn't actually mind, because as a musician I appreciated all the little different parts about it. And there's a big old write-up about the album there. That's well worth reading. And then you then got all the songs there on the inlay. This is again black wax, so no point showing you that. But this was really, really cool. Really, really interesting. Very, very different. And again, Greg, I really do appreciate you sending that, because I have seen that over the years pop up when I've been kind of looking into black metal, because it's quite easy to find. And then obviously I saw the repress for this last year, but again I didn't get it, didn't understand it. And then when you forced me to listen to it, I really, really liked it. So yeah, go check that one out if you haven't. It's called In Lingua Mortua, down there, for people that can actually read, because I can't talk. Right, this is a German band, and this is amazing. Another 2022 album that I'm glad I picked up, because this is brilliant. This is put out for Iron Bonehead. This is called Furis Ignis, with the album Decapitate the Aging World. Got a castle on the cover. It's going to be great, yeah? And it is. It is absolutely brilliant. This is so varied. This is one of those albums where it goes from atmospheric black metal to very straightforward stuff. It's very blasty. Then it's got loads of kind of chilled out instrumental passages in there. It's progressive in parts. So this band formed in 2019. This is the debut full length from one man project. The guy goes by the name of Terst or Tierst, something like that. I'm not cold enough to pronounce any of this, as you can probably tell. But I mean, I assure you, this is amazing. Like, again, this is another one I've spun a lot in the car, because the songs on here are so diverse, but in a really good way. They're very, very musical, very, very interesting. This guy has it down to a T. How I want my black metal is interesting. It's produced well enough where it's kind of got that grittiness to it, but again, it's still, everything's audible, and it's in, you know, the songs are brilliant. Like, it's only 6 songs maybe, yeah, but they all flow really, really well. I think it's about 40 minutes of music, and it's just brilliant. So yeah, go check that one out if you haven't. Decapitate the Aging World, a really, really good album. Right, last two, and then I'll leave you alone with my black metalness. So this is a Ukrainian project that I discovered by accident, I think, on YouTube, and I think it's because I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan, and if you remember the character Severoth, I'll put a picture of him up there. For some reason the band name reminded me of him, and I checked it out and I thought they were brilliant. So this is Severoth, a Ukrainian band formed in 2007. This is a debut from 2015 called Winterfall. Put out through Werewolf Promotions in 2015, which is, I think, the Polish label. There's 2 Werewolf labels, but I think this is the Polish one I put it out. And this is very doomy, atmospheric black metal, where it's emphasis on very much on the atmosphere of being alone, and it is brilliant. Like, all their albums are very similar as well. They're all very empty, cold. And the vocals have kind of like a very shrieked, dying sound that they're buried between the guitars in the background. So it was a one-man project, and I think he's done 5 albums since 2020. So yeah, I've got a few to pick up, but this is really, really cool, and I'm really glad I found this on eBay. So yeah, Severoth with Winterfall, well worth picking up. And lastly, from Hungary. Now, I got sent their last album, their latest album, even last year, and it was really, really cool. Very different from what I expected black metal to be. This is more of a doomy funeral doom black metal, but with a classical approach to it as well. They're big fans of classical music, and that is the band Witcher, and this is the album, no chance of pronouncing that, so it's down there. So this is put out through the band's own label, Philosophem Records, which is the singer's label by memory. Can't remember his name now, but he's a good dude. And this is their second full length from 2019, and it is very doomy, very miserable, but also really cool black metal. Roland was the guy's name, and there he is there. But this is a 2-piece band, and you've got this lady here as well, who does lots of different things as well. And it's just really cool. It's got that classical vibe to it, but it's also very doomy, very atmospheric, very cold, very emotional. It's just great. Not like the other ones where you've got all the blast beats going on and it's all intense. This is kind of sits back a bit and kind of goes at like one pace, and it's just kind of, you can take it all in, and it's just great. So yeah, I've only got one more of these to pick up from the band, I believe, and I've got the full set. So yeah, I love the game Witcher as well, and that was the main reason I even checked out this band in the first place. So yeah, really, really cool album. Go check it out. It's lush. So yeah, there you go. Big black metal update. Hopefully it all made sense, and you can check out all the links below so you can kind of get a take on what these bands actually sound like, and you can then obviously use that to then go purchase said albums if you're interested in them. Obviously, please like this video if you think it's alright, and let YouTube know I'm a cool dude. And then if you really want to check out further content from this Muppet, you can check it out all around my head, and I look forward to speaking to you guys in the comment section below. Cheers!